Basketball season is upon us, and an entire arena full of children turns a Monday early afternoon game into an electric atmosphere. Football loses its fifth straight game, and volleyball dominates the worst team in the league and sets up a pivotal series this week. Hi, my name is Gabe Newman, and this is your EIU Sports Weekly Catchup. Hard to believe that we've already made it to basketball season. I feel like just last week we were moving in, but both EIU women's and men's basketball began their long seasons last week. The women opened the regular season at home against Drake for the annual Kids Day game. Over 2,000 children filed into Groniger Arena, bearing boundless energy and loud screams, and when the video board told them to get loud, they got loud. While they were generally excited when EIU made a shot or made a nice play, the most excited they got was here. The noise was so deafening, in fact, that it may have impacted Drake at the free throw line. The Bulldogs as a team were very good from the charity stripe last season, but in this game they only converted on 14 of their 25 free throws. Eastern, by comparison, was 8 of 10. The Panthers cooled off from the field after leading through the first quarter and were outscored on fast break points 21-10 and out-rebounded 50-26. Drake pulled away late for an 83-65 win, snapping one of the longest home winning streaks in the country, as Eastern was riding a 16-game winning streak in games at Groniger Arena dating back to previous seasons. On Thursday, the Panthers traveled to Purdue to take on the Boilermakers. After leading after the first quarter, the Panthers once again cooled off from the field in subsequent quarters and fell to Purdue 82-67. Three Panthers scored double figures, led by SIUE transfer Ava Stoller with 25 points. Abby Bootlier grabbed 10 rebounds in the second career game for the 6'10" center. Men's basketball began the season at the BBN Tip-Off Classic with a pair of games against Valparaiso and Nichols. In Tuesday's season opener against Valpo, the Panthers ran into some serious foul trouble, but were kept in the game because of the Beacon's inability to make their free throws. By the end of the game, Cooper Jacoby had fouled out, having only played 23 minutes, and 4 other Panthers were on 4 fouls. Still, Valpo missed 14 of their 35 free throws and shot less than 35% from the field to give Eastern a chance to keep it close. Valpo took the lead late with a three-point play, and Eastern got the ball down a point with less than 8 seconds to go. Malika Lafioye took the ball and drove it down the lane. After crashing to the floor, he and Eastern were both surprised to see that a travel had been called. That was Eastern's last chance to take the lead, and after 2 made free throws, the final score was 66-63 in favor of Valpo. The Panthers were led by JUCO transfer Preston Turner, who played 39 minutes and scored 16 points. He was one of 3 Panthers in double figures, as was Terry McMorris, who came off the bench and dropped 11 points and pulled down 11 boards for his first career double-double. Friday's home opener against Nichols, though, was a different story, as the Panthers built a gap and kept it for a 65-57 win. Zion Frooster led the way with 25 points for Eastern, good enough to be named an OVC Notable Performer and the Daily Eastern News Male Panther of the Week. Both teams' Tuesday games will be talked about in next week's recap. Volleyball took care of business down in Nashville against the Tennessee State team that hasn't won a conference game all year and now has lost 24 straight games. It was critical for the Panthers to sweep the Tigers to keep pace with Morehead State for first place in the conference. In the first match on Friday, Eastern won in straight sets 25-8, 25-10, and 25-17. Destiny Walker led in that game with 12 kills. Saturday's game was more competitive. The Panthers won the first set 25-15, but lost set 2 28-26. Sets 3 and 4 went Eastern's way, though, 25-15 and 25-13, as they wrapped it up in 4. Destiny Walker led the weekend with 29 kills. Lily Amidas tied Walker for the team lead with 17 kills on Saturday, and Amidas was named an OVC Notable Performer. Catalina Roshikes had 76 assists, 11 digs, 7 kills, 2 aces, and 2 blocks across both games, and was named the OVC Setter of the Week for the 3rd time this season. She's also the Daily Eastern News Female Panther of the Week. It sets up a big series at home this week against Morehead State. I'll tell you about that later. Men's soccer faced Liberty in the OVC Men's Soccer Championships, hoping for an upset of the Flames like they pulled off in 2023. With the temperatures sitting in the mid to high 30s at Lindenwood where the tournament was taking place, many players opted for an extra layer underneath, but that didn't impact the on-field product in the slightest. A fast-paced game was decided by the lone goal of the game by Liberty in the 19th minute. The Panthers tried pushing up the field, but the Flames turned them away. There was a glimmer of hope late on as Liberty was awarded a penalty kick, only for Eastern goalkeeper Lucas Ortiz to make his second save from the penalty spot in as many games. That gave the Panthers life, but they couldn't find a way past the Liberty back line and lost the game by 1-0. Eastern was only able to squeeze off one shot that required saving. The Panthers finished the season 4-9-4 and 3-4-3 in OVC play. Eastern brought in 25 new players before the season, and the Panthers got themselves back into the OVC tournament, having improved 8 points from last season in conference play. Despite this, Huivaz wasn't content with the season as a whole. And then overall, your first season in charge, how would you rate it?
Bad. Very bad. We want Eastern Illinois to have a winning season. We want to be perceived as a winning team, so not a good season.
Football welcomed 5th-ranked Tennessee Tech to play in the last game at O'Brien Field this season on Saturday. Vegas had the Golden Eagles favored by 4 scores, and after Tech scored touchdowns on their first 2 possessions, it was looking like the bookies were onto something. However, the Panther defense shored up and didn't allow the Golden Eagles to score offensively again. They got some luck from some untimely drop passes and missed field goals by the Golden Eagles. The offense, though, struggled again for the Panthers and couldn't put the ball in the end zone until the final minute of the game when Cole LaCrue found Darius Smith for a score that was too little too late. Tennessee Tech walked away with a 21-9 victory, marking the 5th consecutive loss for the Panthers. Cole LaCrue completed 15 of his 31 passes for 174 yards and 1 touchdown to go along with 1 interception. He was also strip-sacked near the end of the game, and the fumble was returned for a touchdown by the Golden Eagle defense. Eastern is now 3-7 and 2-5 in the OVC Big South. Finally, here's what's coming up this week. I mentioned a big volleyball series coming up. The Panthers take on first place Morehead State for a 2-game series at the Gardella Family Court on Thursday and Friday. Eastern is a game behind the Eagles, and at stake is the right to host the OVC tournament, which is awarded to the team that wins the regular season title. There are 2 games after EIU and Morehead State play this week. Both basketball teams have already played their Tuesday opponents by the time this goes out. Those games will be included in next week's video. Women's basketball is off for the rest of the week, while the men's basketball team finishes up the BBN United Tip-Off Classic with a trip to Lexington to take on Kentucky. Cross country has NCAA regionals coming up, as both teams will head to Stillwater, Oklahoma for the Midwest Regional on Friday. And finally, football will travel to Lindenwood for the final OVC Big South game of the season. Kickoff against the Lions is set for 2 p.m. To stay up to date with everything going on, follow the Daily Eastern News on all of our social medias and check out our website, dailyeasternnews.com.